Hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming for Girls for STEM. It's been a while, guys, when we went live, right? Yeah, so we are live again. This is Girls for STEM. Remember, we are here to encourage girls pursue science and technology. We are here to showcase other role models that are pursuing STEM. And we are also here to ensure that our girls that we're trying to inspire, empower, that they can be exposed to so many careers. You know, in STEM, we have so many careers. We have mechanical engineering, we have uh, material engineering. We've got so many types of engineering. We've got so many types of professional healthcare professional careers, and we just have so many social as well, social careers that are connected to STEM. So, guys, welcome. And I really do appreciate. Remember, if you're coming here for the first time, make sure you subscribe, click that bell notification so you don't miss anything, guys, as we publish anything on this channel. Guys, I always bring you exciting people on this channel. So today I have a very special woman, guys. She empowers women, girls into to flourish. But guys, I don't want to preempt, but I would like her so she can come here and share with us what she's doing. So guys, stay tuned. Hi, Irene Chikatula. How
Right.
are you? Thank you so
Hello.
much for coming to this channel. I really do appreciate and welcome. So, guys, this is Irene Chikatula. Please, Irene, could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yes, thank you. It's my pleasure. So, hello, Kirsten, and I hope I pronounce your name correctly.
Yes,
Apologies if
yes.
I don't. Yes, so
You
hello,
pronounced it
viewers.
perfectly.
Right, thank you. Yes, so my name is Irene Chikatula. I'm a girls and women empowerment specialist, a community mobilization expert, and a public health officer. I am currently based in rural Zambia in Rufunsa district, right in the outskirts of Lusaka province. Yes, and
Wow.
I'm the
And
yes.
it's so exciting. I have not been to Lufunsa. Now you've put a ping on my mind. I really have to come and visit you. Of course, this December I'll be in Zambia. So I would love definitely to meet you. Thank you so much for coming to this channel. So, Irene, could you share with my viewers what are you doing? What are you
All
doing?
right.
What is women empowering? What are you doing exactly? Could you share with our viewers?
Yes, it's my pleasure. Yes, so before I go there, I'll be very happy to show you around Rufunsa when you come. And
Yes.
just to appreciate her life in the rural areas and just get a little bit of a glimpse of what it is, although I do hope you've been to some rural areas in Zambia.
Yes, I have been, yes.
Yes, okay, yes. So like I said, I'm based in Rufunsa, and I'm the founder of a community-based organization called Empowerment Initiative for Rural Women and Girls Zambia. And my being here and founding this organization, I kind of really linked. So I'll take you back a little bit to, how it all started. I guess
Yes,
that would be
please,
interesting to
please.
know, right?
Yes.
Yes. So yes. So I'm now 7 years going in Rufunsa, but before that, I was actually a city girl. Yeah. I was actually a city girl, and I grew up in Lusaka city itself. I did my school there, I did college there, and so on. And right after college, I was sent to work in the rural area as a health worker. So
Yes.
I got here, yeah. So I got here, and my first ever job had me to work at one of the rural remote clinics in the district. And being there, I got exposed to, lots of issues affecting rural communities. So I got exposed to the dynamics of life and, the many challenges facing rural communities, especially women and girls. Yes, so we know that in a global context, women and girls are still, disproportionately affected by many ills. But it is just, good to note that in rural areas, it is worse. It is 3 or more times compared to, urban areas. Yes. So in being here and in working at the clinic, I started engaging and interacting with women and girls who would come to the clinic to seek our services. But because of my, inner passion for women and girls, I started like engaging with them on a personal level, outside the scope of work. And I got a little bit nosy actually, and was always interested in learning about their lives, what's going on, what is this, how do they handle this and that. And of course, it was a clinic, so common were issues of teen pregnancies, gender-based violence, and so on. Yeah. So through those interactions, these women and girls started reaching out to me personally and seeking my help. So we're talking about financial help and so on, and seeing how I could help them, better their lives, help them dodge those abusive relationships and so on.
Yes.
And yeah, so you just tell me if I talk too much.
Oh,
Usually, if
no,
I
no,
get
no, no,
into,
no. We
yeah,
want to hear all that juice. You still squeezing it.
right.
I'm like, wow, it's interesting. Yes.
Right, thank you. So yeah, I really get into this when I'm talking about women and girls empowerment and so on. It's like this huge thing for me.
Remember,
So I
this
just
channel, this channel, we're here to empower women. This is Girls for STEM USA. We empower women all
yes,
globally. We have to make sure we can
right,
take women to another level. And we don't blame men. We don't blame them that this, but it's a connotation way back where women were
right,
not considered as women that they can flourish, but they were put in the
yes,
kitchen. That's where they belonged. And anything that was
exactly,
important to as to mankind was not really given to women. So this is very passionate about, and we would like men to support us, in every endeavor that we're doing. Well, that was really thank you so much for sharing with us. So the other question I
yes.
wanted to ask you, so how did you get so passionate to see, how did you view that you can actually help them? How did that resonate with you? So I'll take you back to where you were little, when you were young. What
Yes,
was going on in your life that you think might have resonated to those women and feel their pain and feel, because it's not easy for you as human beings to just, start maybe pursuing a certain passion or helping in some area.
right,
So what was
right.
going on when you were back little, as maybe 7, 8? And I'll tell you what, I always ask this question to engineers here, healthcare
Okay,
professional, technologists. I
yes,
still
yes.
hit them with that question. What was going on when you were little, about 5, 6, 7? What's going on there?
Okay, so about 5 years old, I think I don't remember much except that I was
Yes,
starting my first grade.
yes, of course.
Yes, but after that, I think I remember growing up in a sort of isolated community, so a bit similar to actually a rural setup, but right in the city. And
Yes,
it was there where I actually first had my, thoughts about, the different, gaps in livelihoods, because I would see this when we go to school and see how our friends would have a little bit more than what we didn't have and so on.
yes,
And so for me, there was always this, something affecting me about that. And then based on, my life and personal experiences at that time, which I would not mention now. And then
yes.
the other thing is I was raised by a single mom.
Hmm.
And I know how, women actually struggle so much out there to, provide for their families, to take care of their little ones. And then also just how this is coupled with other pressures of, violence, and also going a little bit out of their means to, find money to support and so on. So just seeing all this in the community, and it was not like the, upper end society. It
Correct.
was where you would see it all from my home, from the, surrounding communities, from the school, with friends we would interact with. And so it was just all building up. And actually from that time,
Hmm.
I already challenged myself, me and my sibling. I remember actually having little conversations with each other and saying, you know what, this is going to change. We're not going to end up like this as we grow. And we want to just make a difference first for our lives, for ourselves, And then for me, it went beyond that, and for wanting to even see other people actually changing and challenging, the status quo, and challenging themselves to do it differently, to make their lives better. And yeah, so it was basically that. But then I did my school and so
Yes.
on, and I came here, and this just kind of, reignited my ideas, my thoughts of wanting to, do something different, help people. Let me say, I've always had that wanting and willingness to just help somebody. And so initially, I talked about how I started working with rural communities at the clinic. And I
Yes.
remember initially going, out of my way to help them, support them financially, taking a little bit from my pocket and so on. And I know this is not sustainable in any way. It was just not going to work for long. And that's how I came up with this bigger idea of how can I reach out to more people at once? How can I help more people? How can I actually influence, motivate, and let other people, see the difference in how they can live their lives, how they can solve their problems, how they can achieve, greatness, and how they can also know their rights and so on. So this foundation was born, the Empowerment Initiative for Women and Girls. It started just right from there. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. You guys, Irene Chikatula, she is a woman empowering women and girls at the same time. So we are here, guys, because we have similar passion, guys. She also trying to encourage women to flourish as well as girls. So that's why she will share with us a lot of interesting things that she's doing. So what are some of your experiences that you really, really like? Could you share with my viewers about your passion?
Okay. Well, I am just passionate about waking up every day and knowing that there's, hello?
Yes, yes, yes. Sure. Go ahead. I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yes, so I was just saying that I am actually excited by the fact that, I wake up every day knowing that there's hundreds of girls and women out there in my community looking forward to seeing me, and, looking forward to just having that chat that gives them hope, with me. And also, most importantly for me, is when I step out and go out there in the community and meet these little girls, and they run to me and tell them how they would like to grow up and be like me, So that is really exciting and amazing, and kind of gives me this push to just want to do this, like all my life. Because I know now that I am actually a role model to many girls. I have given so many girls, a lot of hope about who they can be, what they can do differently in their lives, and yeah, just how they can achieve greatness, like I said. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I also saw that you may have met very important, significant people. So could you share with our viewers how you get to meet certain people in your life during while you're doing this passion?
Right. Thank you. Yes. So I'm sure you're talking about the, just ended One Young World Summit.
Yes.
Yes. So I was privileged to actually get a scholarship through the European Commission to attend the One Young World Annual Summit. As we may know, it actually happens every year, and it is mainly, targeted for towards young people, young achievers, young activists, young leaders across the globe who are doing tremendous work in their communities, in their countries, and working so hard to, empower their communities and achieve positive change. So I was lucky. Yes, I did get the chance to go to the summit. And, first I was actually thinking, what's going on? Am I being scammed here? Because I got an invite, a private invite, asking me if I would like to be part of a private discussion with Harry and Meghan,
Wow.
Prince Harry, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So I
Yes.
read that once and then twice. I was like, no, this is real. It's happening. And they said
Like, is this
because
a
of
scam or what?
yeah, like what's going on? I didn't imagine that just a little girl that I was where I was growing up with little opportunities for this and that, now
Yes,
actually being offered to stay in the same spaces as such, big people,
yes.
influential people in the world. It was so amazing. And they actually highlighted the fact that this invitation was exclusive to people who are working on, gender equality, and they're doing so much in their communities to empower women and girls and so on. So it was amazing, and I had this privilege of just sitting there for an hour and with other delegates, of course, and just going into this deliberation and talk about the things that you do and so on. Yeah, so it was
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that. I was like, wow, this is so interesting. She empowers
yeah,
women, and she's able to meet Harry and Megan.
yeah,
That's just amazing. And congratulations
right.
for what you're doing. You're really doing a great, great job. So, what are some of the
Thank you.
challenges that you face that you'd like to highlight? Of course, we all have, for example, the Girls for STEM is a nonprofit organization that is here to inspire, encourage girls to pursue science and technology. We also have our own challenges. So, what are some of the
Right.
challenges that you have while trying to empower women and girls? And also, could you maybe, if you want, get into more details what you actually do to empower these women? But before that, what are some of the challenges? Maybe you can answer whichever comes first.
Okay, okay. So I guess we're going to address the challenges first. And
Yes.
so being in a rural area, and I'm still considered new, no, despite being here for, excuse me, being here for 7 years and going. So some of the challenges I've had with the work that I do is, especially with the community, is the community perceptions about such work. So first of all, this is the first ever, kind of initiative happening in Rufunsa district right here, originated from here, and so on. We have lots of organizations coming in and out, trying to do similar work and so on. But I am from here, and my ideas were born from here. And most importantly, I am trying as much to engage communities in, identifying problems affecting them, and also, devising solutions together. So as I do that, sometimes I do get a bit of negativity from the community people who are yet to fully understand, the benefits of what I'm trying to do and so on. And, we're not going to dodge the fact that many people always associate such works with lots of funding,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So
And
I'm
you know
right.
what? Sorry, Irene, not to cut you. Sometimes they associate like you've got so much money, that's why you're doing this, but they forget that actually you may be inputting a lot of money, especially at the point when people don't even know what you're doing, and you just have the drive and the passion to help people. Yeah, sorry to cut you short, but go ahead.
No, 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 that's good. That's good. Yes. So, yeah, you're right. So, and that's the thing. So, for me, everything that I have been doing now, all these years, I have support from friends and family, and it has been voluntary, like 100% voluntary. And many times we do have to put in our own private funds and so on, a few donations here and there from family and friends. And that's what has kept us going. So, it brings me to the other challenge, which I will not dodge. And it's probably one of the main challenges affecting many upcoming organizations and so on who are not yet fully established. So we're talking about the financial challenge. Yeah, so that is also one big challenge, because what I'm doing now, I've piloted it here in the district, in my small villages and so on, and I've seen it work. And I would like to expand. I would like to, reach out to more people, expand more people, like improve the scope of work and so on. And then we have this one limitation of financial, support. So that's one big challenge, I think. And being upcoming, usually you go out there, you're trying to reach out to people, funders and so on. And the first thing they're going to ask you is, how long have you existed? Are you fully established and so on? And if you cannot actually prove yourself to be fully established, then you don't go beyond that. So I wish there could be more support coming towards these small grassroots initiatives, especially the ones that are working in their own communities to improve their own communities and so on. Yeah, so that's about it. And I took too long on the challenges. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm almost
no,
forgetting the
we
other
are here
question.
to express
Yeah.
ourselves, to talk about these issues. And again, those watching from Facebook, from YouTube, this is Irene. She empowers women and girls to flourish. She was going to tell us exactly in details. And if you have any questions, please, we have Mapalo Kaunda. Thank you so much for always supporting us, supporting Girls for STEM USA, and also at large in different countries. So engage us, guys, ask questions, and
All right.
feel free. We are here to discuss this. We are all women. We are all together in this. So continue, Irene. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So I'm now trying to remember the other question. Oh, yes, I get it. How am I doing what I'm doing and so on?
Yes.
So I'm doing, yeah. So I'm doing it two ways. I'm empowering women and girls in the rural areas. And so for women, I'll start with the women. So for women, I am focusing on socially empowering them with by providing safe spaces where they could just be themselves, meet and share problems and just discuss and dodge a little bit from that pressure and so on. And I'm also working so hard to empower women economically through projects. And the reason why I'm focusing on economic empowerment for women is that I know from where I'm coming from that many women right now are being vulnerable and oppressed and actually made to endure so much because of their lack of financial freedom. So that financial liberation for women is really important, and not to dismiss entirely the fact that once we empower women economically, it means they will not be victims of other vulnerabilities and oppressions. But I do believe that this could be the starting point. It is really important to make sure that women can stand for themselves, first of all, economically. That's what I'm doing with women. So I'm into projects. Being in a rural area, again, I'm focusing on agricultural projects for women. So we do things like groundnut production, and also being in a rural area, we have so much land, we have so much forest, which actually could benefit communities, not just women, but their families and so on. So we are also trying to find climate-friendly projects which could support livelihoods, but at the same time actually contribute to achieving climate justice by conserving our forests and so on. So there's one project we're currently running. It's a beekeeping project, and so we have actually about 23 women right now who have undergone skills training in beehive making, and are actually ready to harvest their first honey, I think, in the next 3 months or so. And from there, we're going to see how we link them to markets and so on. And it excites me because I know that after these women will actually have their own income. Yeah. And so that's just the women. So there's
Yeah.
the other part for girls now, which is actually more exciting for me and interesting, because so the reality is that girls are growing into women. And
Yes.
we don't want in the near future to continue to have the struggles that women are having right now. So I'm taking this approach of trying to reach out to girls before they are women. So for girls, I'm also focusing on girls in school, because I
Yeah.
believe that education is really important, of course, for everybody, but for girls it could also be the true path to independence. And so yes, so I'm working with girls through empowerment clubs. So we have come up with empowerment clubs that we are formulating across different schools in my area, in my community, and reaching out to girls and seeing how we can engage them and improve their education achievements and so on. So we do this by and I mean the whole objective of this empowerment program for the girls is to improve retention of girls in school, improve completion, but above all, improve the learning outcomes. Yes. So this is a STEM, STEM interview and so on. So allow me to actually highlight some of the things I have actually realized and noticed that could actually, touch on rural girls and so on
Yes.
with regard
Oh,
to STEM.
you're
Yes.
touching at my passion now. I love it.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, finally, exciting. Yes. So with girls empowerment, I am really trying to challenge girls to, reimagine their lives, to challenge them to, also break the status quo, that is usually enhanced by gender stereotypes of saying girls can do these, girls can't do that, and girls this, girls no. So I believe that we are in a fast changing world. We're going digital, we're going, it's a technology world. And I just really think that it would be equally important that girls in rural areas can be exposed to STEM, STEM education. I really believe that this is important for them. And so I'll give you an example of where I am right now. In Rafunsa district, right now we have one STEM school for girls. It's a Rafunsa Girls Technical, and
Wow.
very good. Yes, so a very good school and highly competitive. I like that fact of it. But for me, it still hasn't done, enough for the girls that I'm working with, because so I'm working with girls in other parts of the district who are usually limited in their learning abilities. Have to deal with so many, other challenges, the teen pregnancies, they've had to deal with early marriages, they've got menstrual poverty, and they've got long distances to walk to school. And then as they do that, they go to schools which actually do not meet their educational needs fully. So the result of this is, poor results, poor
Yeah.
grades. Yes, and these girls do not actually make it to the STEM school which we have, because we have a STEM school, and it would be
Yeah.
really interesting for girls to actually, have that option. So I know it's not every girl who's going to be, do STEM subjects, and also as they grow, be engineers, mathematicians, and so on. But I just think that it is really important to have this option for them, and because we are also trying to, achieve equality and so on. And this is one way that girls can do this, that women can do this, understanding that they too can take on those hard subjects. I mean, we were taught they were hard subjects. I remember being in
Yes.
high school and giving so much respect to the people that were doing advanced subjects like the ADMA, the pure sciences, because we really had this assumption that this is a no-go area. There's just certain special people that must do this, you know.
And you know what?
So,
Because you touched that point, let me just talk about it. Not to cut you, and please
yeah,
keep
no,
your
no,
thoughts.
please,
You
no
are
worries.
just going in the perfect direction. I just want to touch about this point of thinking that women can't do certain subjects, women cannot be in STEM, and also the fact of thinking that those who became engineers or who became doctors, they had a certain type of resource that you don't have. So you cannot be an engineer because there were no STEM facility or resources around you. So you cannot pursue STEM. You cannot be an engineer. You cannot be a doctor because of ABCD, ABCD. So there is that connotation of telling those girls. And the other thing is the other thing they lack is a role model to talk about these things, and such that they can see someone who looks like them. I always talk about this when I was pursuing my STEM career at the university. I stumbled a lot because I never saw anyone who looked like me, anyone who was pursuing this career, and they got a job that I can see. So I wondered, there were times when I was like, what am I doing? And especially when other women, when they hear that you're doing this career, they look at you like, are you kidding me? You probably won't even make it. What are you
Right,
doing there?
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
outside there, you've got people who are looking at you with that eye. Now let's come to men. Even worse, they're
Yes.
like, please, what are you doing here? Okay. So you have all those challenges. And because of all those challenges of, people looking at you that you won't do it, the other thing is in your heart, you're also fighting with something within you that I don't see anybody who looks like me, number one. I don't see
Right,
anybody who has done this career who looks like me, or anybody in front of me who's working. So already you're being hit
right.
with those things around you. So you tend to just fall apart. And I saw students falling apart, saying, I won't do this. I don't think I'm cut for it. So can you imagine
Yeah.
those kids that you're talking about there in the rural areas, even
Yeah.
those that have been exposed to a tech school, a school around them, because, they need to have all these empowerments, women like us, you know,
Yeah.
especially what
Exactly.
you're doing, which is really, really great. I just wanted to put that
Exactly.
point that really discourages these women from
Yeah.
pursuing these careers or even empowering themselves that they can do more than they think they are, even at their late stages. The other thing I want to mention is I pursued my career after when I was 40.
Yeah.
Can anybody relate to that? They think,
No, even
are you
I
kidding?
couldn't relate right now. I'm
Yes,
I'm
I
actually
went to do
shocked. I
my
mean, in a
engineering
nice
when I
way.
was above 40. Yeah, go ahead.
Really? Wow. Yeah, yeah. No, no, I was just saying, even I am shocked, but in an exciting way. Like, wow, that is really amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, take
Yeah.
us back to that school again where you're describing how these challenges these kids are going. I just wanted to point out about what you were saying, that
Yes.
it's a challenge. And that's why I keep preaching, I'm singing louder and louder, because these kids, even you, Irene, we're here, trying to speak louder and say there is help. We also need help. We do need help.
Yes.
Come and support us.
Exactly.
Ask questions
Yeah.
of what are you
Yes.
doing? How can I help? And I hear people, speaking to us like that, which is really, really great. And once people have this in mind about women, they share. When they see it,
Yeah.
they know it. They're like, oh, that's the one
Exactly.
that she was talking about. I remember I've got a friend of ours, Imelda, in Chicago. She said,
Hmm.
Kirsten, I saw that STEM thing that you talk about all the time. I
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
excited. I said, okay, it's
Yeah.
really
Exactly.
impacting someone.
Exactly. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, yeah, I guess it's just exciting to know that there's actually people you wouldn't expect have seen your work somewhere and so on, like in
Yeah,
your case where your friend somewhere says, I've seen that before. That's amazing.
yes.
Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, so we have a STEM school. And
Hmm.
the whole idea behind these STEM schools, I remember the time it started about 10 years ago. It was meant that every province in Zambia should have at least one STEM school. And this was originating from the fact that initially we had, I think I knew of two schools only which offered the STEM subjects like
Yeah,
exclusively. So that was DK and Hillcrest at that time, right? And so it was a good move at that time to try to encourage a lot of girls to go into STEM subjects. And so these schools were strategically placed almost in every province to make sure that it's closer to the people, and also to just show that it is available. Yes, so the availability is there, it's not being questioned, but for me, I'm just questioning the fact that these other young girls from rural communities do not actually imagine that. Still, it's 10 years now since we have a STEM school, but if it's very rare to find a young girl who would actually imagine being even closer to it. So I am doing a lot of talks with young girls, and I'll
yeah,
tell you what, if I do all the time, I ask them, what would you like to be? Guess what they tell me? A
yeah.
teacher, a nurse, yeah, a teacher and a nurse. A few would go as far as a doctor, a police
Hmm.
officer, yeah, a singer maybe. And of course, I'm not really saying there's anything wrong with these, careers, but
Yeah,
I'm just trying to point out the fact that they do not have an idea about anything else. They do not know about what else they can do, what many careers they can pursue in their lives and so on. So are you there?
yes, I am here. I got something went into my eye. I was
Yes.
like,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. So I was just saying that for these young girls in the rural areas, they do not imagine that because they just, and I not blaming them either. That's why I'm here. That's why I've made it my life ambition to help them, because they're just not exposed, right? They're just not, they've never had anybody come through and, show them this and that. And so we have good people in rural communities, we have learned people, but usually what happens is the moment they feel they're good enough, they they start to believe they're almost too good for rural communities, and they move away. Of course, everybody runs off to the city for, better opportunities out there. So our rural communities are being drained. They're being sucked out of the life, of the potential, and
Yeah.
we're still going more and more backwards. That's what it is for me. So through my girls empowerment programs, I have now a program which I recently started running. It's called the Girls Can Club, and
Mm-hmm.
the idea is to establish it in as many schools as possible in their areas. Currently working in 3 schools, and we want to go in these schools and form these clubs and give these girls a chance to learn about life, learn about different career options, improve their literacy, and at some point probably expose them to digital literacy and so on. Yeah, so in these summer clubs, I would actually like to bring somebody who is doing something extraordinary. I mean, according to them, somebody who is just doing something they cannot imagine. And I hope that this can motivate them enough to, think outside the box, challenge their thoughts, and most importantly, have an idea of what they could be out there. Yeah, so I'm happy that I'm actually a role model to these girls and women. I
Yes.
know that because they tell me that, and it really excites me, but I feel like they need more, and I am here to help them to see, more of it. So obviously, maybe also exposing them by, making these exchange groups, carry them
Mm,
to a STEM school, let them see
correct.
it, let them just imagine it. It's just so
And you know
impossible.
what, Irene, I have so
Yeah,
many women engineers on this channel that have come on this channel,
really,
and I'll make sure that I can share. We can share this video to these women engineers in Zambia.
really
So the reason why we
exciting.
come on this platform and talk about these things, you know,
Hmm.
it's to make sure we can air our views, our issues. Sometimes we
Right,
may have help, we may have help, but we don't know how to get it. So some of these
exactly.
engineers who have come here that I've interviewed, I know they can team up and just come and, you know, play in Zambian language. We say ukwisa yangalila ababaiche
Yeah, yes,
in
yes.
that area. Simple
Mhm.
stuff, simple experiments,
Right.
telling them who they are, what they do, and just to be as role models for them. I think that would really, really make a difference. We have so many doctors who've been on this channel, so many, and the question they ask is, what can we do? How can we help? So if they hear somebody like you who is really need that help, I mean, these ladies would drive there whenever you have something like a function or something, and they can come and support. And that's why we are here. What
Really.
can we do? How can we enhance the community in terms of
Mm.
understanding or helping, because you never know how that resource can amount to. So
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
really, really interesting when you talk about that, and that's what we want to hear. We want to hear, what are you doing exactly? What are those challenges? What are those
Yes.
niches that people can really come and help out and things like that? Wow, thank you so much for sharing. And I mean, this interview
Yes.
was supposed to go for like 10-15 minutes, remember?
Oh my
But
goodness. Yeah, I know, I can see it, but it means we really have a lot to talk about, hey? Maybe
we
a
have
part
a
two or
lot. We have
something.
a lot of issues to
Yeah,
iron out, a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
things that we
right.
need to pop out of our head. Some things we think about, issues just in our head, like, I should have done this, but we need to articulate them. We need to be able to talk
Exactly.
about them. When we articulate them, somebody out there may learn about them. I'm already interested. I was like, I really need to know and participate in whatever she's doing, whatever I can do. But the only way we can know about this is, talking about them, sharing with them. And I know there are people, Facebook people here on this channel who are watching, also Girls for STEM here in USA.
Yeah.
So please support Irene. Reach out. She's on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me and say, what is she doing? How can we help? Everybody, we are in this together to empower women. And when we say we're empowering women and girls, we don't mean we don't need men or boys. And that's what I always say. And remember, for everything that is being done, you need women women. And once there are women, of course, we'll pull you men. You'll be part of
Yes.
it. So it
Yes.
all means the same.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Irene,
So.
I
Uh-huh.
I will give you some few minutes. What would you want to say to the world?
Oh la
In
la.
summary, what are you doing? What do you want the world to know about your organization? And what would you want to say to a girl out there in the rural areas? What would you want to say? So I'll give you that time to articulate to that.
All right. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. So I think I will start with I'll start with something that I want to tell to a girl out there, and
Yes.
I will say what I always say to my girls here. So I always say something like, it does not matter where you're coming from, because being in a rural area, for example, we know that we have so many, so much gaps and differences in livelihoods and how we live, in what we can afford, and so on. And so this should by no way be your limitation to what you can be in future, because actually I always say this should be your motivation to, if you're really at a place where you feel like you're kind of closed up, you're kind of limited to, resources, you're kind of, just not in a place where you're happy and proud of. This should not be your limitation, because actually it's not going to get better if you don't do anything else. It's not going to get
Mm-hmm.
better. From there it can only get worse. So I always use this as the driving force. I always tell this to young people, young girls out there, and to say, let that be your motivation to go forward with what you want to achieve, because there's so many possibilities. Like they always say, there's just no limitation to what we can do as people. There's no limitation to what we can achieve as women, as girls, and so on. And so that brings me to my other point, to tell the world, for example. I would like to say something to the people, because I say there is no limitation to what we can do. That's for the young girls. But then I would like people to understand the fact that when we say we're supporting women, when we say we're into girls and women empowerment, I have gotten so much, criticism sometimes for doing this, and being called biased because I'm more focused on the girls and everything. But I would like to point out the fact that, the fight for gender equality, for example, the fight for, fighting these social ills is not a fight for women alone. And
Mm-hmm.
I would like to actually appeal that, this can only work. We can only make this world better together. And so we need to be allies. Everybody, every one of us, we all need to come together and do this. And I just read an interesting line in a book that I'm actually reading for my studies. And it's a book by Bell Hooks. And she was actually highlighting the fact that, males actually must realize that this is not a fight with women, and
Mm-hmm.
without males coming on board and becoming our allies in this
Mm-hmm.
struggle, then there is nowhere we're going with this movement of,
No.
or advancing the gender equality agenda or the feminism movement and so on. Yes, so that's about it. Yeah. And so just a little bit about myself. So yes, welcome again, everybody. And I know there's some people who just joined in. So my name is Ireen Chikatula. I'm based in Zambia, Southern Africa. I'm actually located in the rural outskirts of town, Lusaka province. And I've been here for the last 7 years, and I'm doing what I can in my own capacity at the moment to support women and girls in rural communities. And in the end, the ultimate goal is to actually improve livelihoods in communities in my country, and possibly be, an influence even beyond, like, yeah. So um, thank you so much for coming on board and listening to this. And I really appreciate. I've seen comments coming through. I've not been able to read at the moment, but I will go through everything. And I'm excited already. I can't wait to read what everybody has written. And so if anybody would like to, get in touch with me or reach out to me, I'm on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and Instagram. I'm using the same names on Twitter as well. Not very active, but so my name is Ireen Chikatula, just like that. And you find me on all the social media platforms. And if you need other contact details, I'm sure Kirsten will be able to maybe avail them to you
Definitely,
as and when
definitely.
needed. Yes. So thank you so much.
Wow, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
Irene, we will call you again just to see how it's going. And I hope to see you, to visit you and see, what you're doing there. I'll be really privileged to come there. And thank you so much for coming. It's always a pleasure for me to host somebody like you. And I just want to say, viewers, thank you for being there and for supporting us. And please share this video as much as possible on this platform. We encourage women, girls, to flourish. Simply, I think that would be a general term, to flourish. And thank you so much. So, Irene, we
Yes.
hope you can come again on this channel, share with us what you're doing. I think we'd love to hear more about those stories.
Right. So thank you so much, Christian. It was my pleasure being here. I really appreciate this opportunity. And like I told you in our private discussion, this is
Yes.
actually the first time I'm doing this sort of interview. And I'm really thankful. I really appreciate the chance. And I'll be more than happy to come back and share more insights and just have this nice discussion again and about women, about girls, and about improving lives, helping our communities. And allow me also to commend you for the work that you do and keep it up. Thank you for this. And I do believe there is a need for this. There's a need for people to hear about STEM and so on. And this is the only way we can achieve it, by speaking about it. So let's do this. Let's speak more of it. And yeah, all the best.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And guys, we're gonna come to the end of this show. It was amazing. I'm so happy to just have spoken to Chikatula and what she's doing, and amazing. And you're doing a great job. Thank you so much, guys. See you next weekend.